Hi there, and welcome to the movie library. Tonight, I'm actually not talking about Sentai or any of that type of stuff. I just probably gonna watch this a little bit later. This and maybe a bit of Doctor Who. I'm in kind of a weird, eclectic-y type of mood. So, welcome to my movie library, and tonight we're going to do the C section. And thanks to a question in the C section, I got my next video. See, I'm working on some Versus stuff. And although a lot of it looks like it comes off the top of my head, I've actually got to do research and watching and all that type of stuff and get my ideas in my head. Even though I never write anything down for that, I do have to know if I'm talking about Arrow or Scream Factory. I got to think about my personal experiences with each of the companies, and then I delve into the movies that I got with each and that type of thing. So Versus videos tend to take a little bit longer. And so for that reason, I don't think that's what I'm doing tonight. Though I did get asked a couple interesting questions in the C section, and one of them gave me an idea. So without further ado, welcome once again to my movie library, and let's get headed. Alright, so here in the C section, I was asked this from Tummy Films. Hey Aaron, I finally decided to get a region-free player. Excellent. So that I could take part in the recent Arrow sale. I've been looking into companies that release region B or C titles. So far I've come across Arrow, Indicator, Eureka, Masters of Cinema, and Second Sight. Do you know of any others? This could be an idea for a video. If not, a reply would do. Well, it is going to be this video right here. We're going to talk about other companies in other countries. Specifically the UK, really. And there's a company... Well, we'll get to that anyway. Ken Carlson here said, yeah, the twist ending of April Fool's Day is what ruined it for me. I like the twist ending. Give it another shot down the road, Ken. And it did indeed have a good 80s cast. A couple actors from Just One of the Guys were in it. One of my favorite 80s teen comedies. Actually, mine too. We need Just One of the Guys on Blu-ray. We do, actually. I really like that film. I'm really surprised it hasn't come on Blu-ray. I'm surprised I haven't seen it at all, really. I don't even know if I've ever seen it on DVD. I actually had a VHS of that one. Scandal Sheet is my fave from the Sam Fuller set. I got to rewatch those. I haven't seen them in a long time, so I do kind of remember liking Scandal Sheet, but I would have, before I could tell you which one's my favorite, I honestly have to rewatch them. Mark Stewart here says, hi Aaron, good video. I was myself also disappointed with April Fool's Day 1986. Give it another chance. Trust me, if you watch the new April Fool's Day, the new one, the remake, the one that they did afterwards, the 86 one is going to seem brilliant. Brilliant! And that's why I don't sing or anything like that, because that was a really odd, weird, strange voice that came out of there. Brilliant. Okay. Not an accent, just the weirdness. I thought it was a good film up until the twist ending. I probably also need to watch it again sometime. Good. Subscribe as a friend because you have the best opinion. Thank you. And that is SUS hashtag FUtube. Des Phelan here. Hi Aaron, long time, but still watch your videos and enjoy them. I had to comment on Laurel and Hardy. The first film I ever saw was The Dancing Masters as a child. It was wonderful, and I still love it to this day. The best of their films comes from the Hal Roach years, no doubt. There is one film that only got a VHS release here, that is Bonnie Scotland. Aaron, you're doing great videos. Keep going. Thanks a lot, Des. Have a lot of fun making these videos. I've been working recently, so that's why the one hasn't come out in a couple days. In a few days, but hopefully this one will get done this week. It's been a really busy week. Hi Aaron, did you know that Mill Creek has released Kids in the Hall Complete Series DVD set by PD675? PD, I hope you heard the other video, by the way, where we talked about the Laurel and Hardy, because I got good information on that one. So look for that one. Yeah, I do, and I really want it. I'm moving right now, so I'm missing on a lot of stuff, and I'll talk about one of those things in a minute now. Hank Sampson, Linda Carter, Stephanie Powers, Angie Dickinson. Methinks I detect a pattern here. Methinks you, Hank, are very correct. It's Movie Mac. Hey Aaron, I see your tripod almost fell over, but I'm glad it's okay. Speaking of earthquake, I found it on Amazon at a good price, so I need to pick that up. I need to add the China Cinema to my pickup list when Indicator puts that one out. Good choice. I think I'm going to getting to like Indicator. You got me interested in the Vinegar Syndrome halfway to Black Friday sale. I'm getting Hobgoblins, but I have no clue what the exclusive Blu-rays will be, so I can't even try to guess. But I think VS gave a clue. They did, actually. I'm going to see if I can find that. They said it's going to... Oh, you're going to help me. They said it's going to be something from the 70s or 80s. They usually go with 70s or 80s. I hope it's horror. I really do. And maybe one horror, and kind of one cheesy one. I like the you know, the ones done in over and you know, those strange women prison style ones, those really crazy ones. Those are fun. They said you have some great looking TV boxes. Thanks a lot. I think you should pick up the Outer Limits Season 1 set from Kino. That was part of my birthday gift, actually. I was going to get it, and at the end of the day, something else came, and I had to make a decision, and Vinegar Syndrome had sale. So I took money that was going to go originally for the Kino Outer Limits set, because I know that's going to be around. It's not limited edition. And I bought a few Vinegar Syndrome titles. A couple of those were limited editions, ones that I wanted to get, including those two 5 years, 5 films sets that I really, really like. But I do want that Outer Limits set really bad. I have them. They're supposed to be putting out Season 2. Yeah, they are putting out Season 2 later on this year. So I'm actually really looking forward to that. Oh, that's the most recent. So, recently, Mondo Macabra put out a limited edition of Who Could Kill a Child. And I really wanted it. But I'm moving, so I didn't get that. A friend of mine, Ken, he actually let me know tonight that that's sold out. And I'm bummed that the limited edition sold out a bit. I guess I missed out on another limited edition. I'm going to miss out on a few limited editions in the near future, unfortunately. I'm trying to save up enough so I have a little bit during, well, you know, leeway during the Vinegar Syndrome halfway to Black Friday sales, so I can get some stuff there. But I am missing out on a few things. I do really, really congratulate Mondo Macabra on putting together another amazing title and just blowing it away. Mondo Macabra really does deserve more kudos than I see them get online. Not a lot of people really talk about them that much, and with the stuff that they're putting out now, I really think that they should. They actually put out there's a cover, a wraparound cover to Perversion Story. I don't know when that one's going to be put up for to be able to buy. That's one I really want. I'm a really big fan of the film, so I hope I don't miss out on that limited edition. It's going to depend on timing. I'm doing my best, and eventually, through hard work and once I moved and I have things situated, then I'll be able to go back and hopefully buy more things and catch up on some stuff that I didn't catch up on before. But that's what you do when you're on the move, right? Anyway, let's go over here because I was asked about other region titles. So, whereas I'm a kind of a Region 1, or I'm in the Region 1 area, but I also have a couple Region 3 players. So as you guys know, because you see me order and buy and show a lot of stuff from other countries, especially the UK. That's because the UK puts out a lot of good stuff. So let's go over to my library there, and we'll look at some of the different companies, different titles. And maybe I'll give you like kind of a 2 or 3 that I think you should have from each of these companies, or that I personally really like getting. Come on, let's go look. All right, now before we even go in to look at the movie library there, I'm just going to give you a look before you see me on the other side of here. And you're going to see those yellow cases and those red cases there. We're going to focus on them a bit, actually. There's a few different things that we can focus on through there. And hopefully, you know, you're going to like this. There's some really good companies in the UK. Obviously, there's a few that you know about. I'm going to talk about my personal favorites with some of these companies. And if you look up there, up top, you see that the Herschel Gordon Lewis Feast set, that's an actual favorite of mine from Arrow Video. So if you have that one, kudos. That's one that I'm very proud of getting. And I think Stephanie Crawford, and I think it was on Twitter, she showed that she had recently got it. So I was trying to do like the thumbs up thing, but oh my God, there, thumbs up. So if you got that one, it's an awesomely cool one. I think she got Evil Ed as well, which is another kind of cool, fun, gore fest type of thing. And for those of you that are missing the days of Blair Witch, there we go. All right, so we're going to start with Arrow. It's probably one of the biggest companies in the UK. It's the one that most people know about. You either found out about it either from YouTube or videos, or if you're like me, from Horror Hound magazine. That's where I first saw Arrow at. They had like an article on Arrow video, and they showed like some different stuff they had. And back then, they used to have a lot of these. Oh, hold on a sec. This is a DVD of them, but there's Blu-rays of them too. They used to go with these here boxes. You can still get some of these. Now these are slide boxes. Why are these so popular? Because it gave you like 4 different like types of artwork to choose from. Like underneath here, there's 2 other types of artwork, and usually with that you'd get something else as well. This is the original Tenebrae release. You have a booklet, which you see a lot with Arrow stuff now, and a lot of Indicator stuff. But you also get a poster. You actually get a poster you could actually put up. Which was really cool as well. Sometimes with some of the releases, you get like postcards as well, which was really, really cool. And always gave you the choice to put up whatever case you wanted to for that release. You can still find some of these around. They're not as prevalent now, but if you ever can just have like 1 or 2 of these, there you got Blu-ray editions of these as well. Really worth picking up because they're coming more and more rare to find nowadays. I'll show you a couple after. Now, out of the many Arrow releases that came out as a box set, one of my favorites, and unfortunately this one is out of print, but if you can find it, it's a really cool one, and this is the Vincent Price in 6 Gothic Tales. Now, this one here has The Pit and the Pendulum, The Fall of the House of Usher, The Raven, Tales of Terror, Tomb of Legia, and The Haunted Palace. So they each get their own release with their own features. And what's really, really cool about this one is there's a real cool hardbound, hardcover book. This is when I really started to notice the Arrow books. I noticed their booklets and the stuff they did before, but this is one that really stood out. It's really well bound. There's a ton of pages. The artwork is awesome. Lots of like reading in this, and also comic books. I'm a huge comic book fan. So the fact that you can actually read the Dell versions of some of the comics in here is just an extra bonus as well. So it's just a ton of really good stuff. Arrow puts out limited edition box sets. Keep an eye out on those. Some of them go fairly fast. I know that they put out 2 or 3 versions of With No Eye. And I got one of the limited editions of that one, but there's even more limited edition that you could get. But they had the same features. It was just like different covers, and like one was, I think, was autographed and stuff. But Arrow is kind of the king of the limited edition box sets. Now, Indicator is coming up, and they're doing a lot of stuff too. That's great, and I think Indicator is becoming like getting up close to them. But Arrow still to this day, they just do that solid package, that really amazing box set that's hard to beat. Really great stuff. And the thing is, they didn't just focus like on like you could get a lot of horror stuff. And recently, if you're a big fan of Giallo and stuff like that, a lot of the Argentos were a few of the Argentos were popped back here. This is the Deep Red one. I've got the Deep Red, the Blu-ray edition of this, the original one that came out, but I had to get this new one here. Deep Red is one of my favorite films from Dario Argento. Tenebrae is my favorite film. But if you don't have this one, it's really a good release. I missed out on a couple. I missed out on Phenomenon. I'm really disappointed on that. I really wanted Phenomenon. It had both cuts of the film. It had Phenomenon, it had Creepers, and unfortunately, I did see Creepers before I saw Phenomenon. And I like saying Phenomenon. Phenomena. Okay, sorry. I just got it in my head. Again, another great release. Don't worry, I'm going to get into companies that you probably don't know as much about, or that you may, or you just may not have focused on them yet. But I want to mention some of the stuff here that I think that people should pick up. They did some great box sets from the early stuff from their Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 when they're doing like the thinner sets, and more recently they've come a long way, putting out things like their Black Cat set with the hard cases, which again is great stuff. This is a really good set, by the way. The Black Cat set is the Black Cat, and your Vice is a locked room, and I have the key. That's my favorite on this set right here. But you wanted to know about a lot of other companies. So we're going to come back to Arrow a little bit later. I'm going to give you a couple of my favorites. But another favorite company of mine from the UK is one called 88 Films. Now, they're newer than Arrow, obviously, and they have like different they have different like labels. What they've done is they've taken it and put it into like different like subsections of genres and done collections of them. So they have an Italian collection that has like the regular kind of like what we're getting used to, like the white case rather than like the Blu-ray case. And they're doing slasher collection, and that uses the red case right here. Also, they have an Asian film collection which deals with a lot of like Asian horror and like the Shaw Brothers, kind of like the Kung Fu stuff, Flying Guillotines, stuff like that. So they have a lot of stuff. They also are like one of the, I think, or are they the official like company for a lot of the full moon and the trauma stuff that you see over in the UK. So I'm just going to show you a few of theirs to give you kind of an idea of the stuff that they got. Now, when they originally put out their Slasher Classics collection, the first one that came out was a classic Graduation Day. Now, this is a really good addition to this film. I know that Vinegar Syndrome, I think. Is it Vinegar Syndrome put this as well? I know they put out one others. But I got the 88 Films one. This one here actually has a really good bonus feature on it. There's actually a documentary on here called Scream Queens Horror Heroines Exposed. That's actually a full-length documentary on here with a bunch of other features. They had the red cases, and originally, they stopped doing this, unfortunately, but originally they had these here kind of like thin booklets that are very reminiscent of the Twilight time, kind of smaller booklets. And early ones, they'd have like, basically it's the same cover, but without the certificate that you see right there, the certificate taken off. Later on, they would put like alternate artwork covers. But Graduation Day is a good one. I do recommend that. Mother's Day definitely gets a recommendation from me. It's a different film. It's a rougher type of film. They put out the Children of the... If you're a Children of the Corn fan, this is going to be awesome for you. But if you're not a Children of the Corn fan, this is going to change your mind. But they put out the first three Children of the Corn trilogy in this like box set. You can buy them on their own though, if you're only like #1, or if you're like a big fan of Urban Harvest, like I am. Actually, I am a big fan of that one there, Urban Harvest. They all had their own like little cases and stuff. I changed them around. Originally, they're just like the kind of like this. They all had different color in the background. But this is a really good one. Now, as I said before, they did like a lot of the UK editions of like Troma films. So they put out the Toxic Avenger series. Now, they put them out, all four of them, and HMV over in the UK had exclusive editions. This is the HMV exclusive right there. I was over visiting London, and I picked this one up and part 2 at the same time. Not sure if you were watching my videos back then, but anybody that has been watching for a long time knows that when I opened up part 2 of the Toxic Avenger, I slipped it out of, it had the part 2 slip. I'm not sure if I got the part 2 slip anymore, somewhere maybe. And I took it out, and Toxic Avenger 1 was in there. So I got 2 copies initially, not sure if I still have them or not, of Toxic Avenger Part 1. I really wanted to get all the 4 HMV exclusives. I've never gotten back to London since then. And eventually I'll hopefully get the other 3 exclusive. These are really good sets, by the way. And I love the fact that, because they're toxic, they're green. This also has this, see this here? This is a poster, a little mini poster inside here as well. That's kind of the exclusive thing with that. But there's like a ton of, I gotta make sure there's no, okay. There we go. There's a ton of special features. There's nudity on the back, so, you know, it's a trauma film. Now, when they did their limited editions, for their Italian ones, and for some of their slash ones too, they have, if you go to the 88 Films website, you can find like limited edition slipcovers. So when Zombie 3 came out, it's a film that I liked a lot. It's a fun, cheesy little film that I found a lot of fun. So the cover for Zombie 3 is just, you know, it's this here, but there's this kind of cool slip that I really like, so I wanted that, and it came with an extra disc as well. What's it called again? Peura. It's a Lucio Fulci documentary. Basically, people just talking about Lucio Fulci. It was 3 hours long. People were given like their thoughts on them, and it's different. I like it, and I love this. Is really like kind of silky type feel. I like the feel to this. But my favorites out of the hands down, my favorites out of the ones that I got from the Italian collection are the Bloodstained Shadow. I do recommend this one. It's a really good giallo. Great story. I love the twist. Very well done. And a very different type of film, but one that I really like called Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Man. A favorite of mine. The characters in this, Ray Lovelock is in this. He does a great job, and this is just a really, really good film. The characters have a lot of chemistry. They're not the nicest guys in the world, but if you like crazy, crazy stuff and you don't have like the Severin Snaps, whatever company put out edition, they also put out a decent copy of Burial Ground as well, which I really like. Mama. If you haven't seen Burial Ground, that's going to make absolutely no sense, but if you did, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But again, I'm a big fan of this film. Now, another cool thing they did was they put out the first 4 American Ninja films, so there's a 5th one. Some people don't count that. American Ninja. This one here is if you're not sure about American Ninja, but you kind of want to get that kind of that cool canon action kind of cheesiness, and you want to know where to start, this is a great place to start with it, because it has something here called Ninja Gaijin, Remembering a Classic Canon Franchise, and it's a documentary, like a full-length documentary on the entire American Ninja franchise. Watch that, and you'll know what you want to know about American Ninja, and you'll know if you want to get the other ones or not. I got them all at the same time. There was a sale on at Fops in London, and I picked up all 4 of these for a very, very good price. Also, sometimes you'll get competing editions. Arrow put a great edition of Creepshow 2. I also like the 88 Films edition as well. I like the slipcover here. Kind of cool the way it was done. Arrows has more features, but they again also have features on here too. And I like the fact that the cover on the inside is, it's not the same. It's got that EC style comic cover on there. Things like Castle Freak, and I think they got the first 5 Puppet Master movies. I got the first 3 here. Were put out by 88 Films as well, so those are also worth checking into. One that I do actually seriously recommend is The Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bolorama. I know it's got a really crazy title. The alternate title for this movie was The Imp, and it's got some great bonus features on here. But what's really, really cool is this is a really fun movie, and I got one upstairs now, Nightmare Sisters, that I got to watch. It's kind of reminds me of that. Now, with that being said, another company that's really big on my list, and you can see by a lot that I have a lot of them, is Shameless Screen Entertainment. Now, Shameless deals with Italian films primarily, strongly on the giallo side, but they also deal with like some of the action ones and a few of the sexploitation ones as well, as you'll see with some of the stuff that I can and can't show, because they do on their covers sometimes focus highly on nudity and kind of like the cheesiness of it. But one I can show you is this one here. This is the Bronx Warriors trilogy. And it's the back. I've actually shown this one recently. But it's fun 3 films. But some of my favorites, and I'm going to look at them before I take them out. So, like, is Torso right here. Night Train Murders is kind of like it's kind of like Last House on the Left-ish. Little different. I like it. I like the way that was done. There were some kind of juxtapositions and sequences that I found really good, and it got to do it well. I didn't think it got as exploitive. I don't think Last House on the Left is exploitive either, just to put it there. But some people, when they're watching a movie like Last House on the Left is a movie that bothers a lot of people, and they think of it as a violent film. Now, when Craven was making Last House on the Left, it was actually making a statement on violence. It was actually one of the most anti-violent films that you're ever going to see if you really kind of dive into the film itself. And I just want to put that out there. But on a slightly tamer side, I guess, we have Night Train Murders. But I do think it's a really good film, and it's really worthy of being in anyone's collection. There's some What Have They Done to Your Daughter is actually a really good one as well. Oasis of Fear is one I really enjoyed. It's kind of a quirky, different one. There's a song that plays in it over and over again. If you don't like the song, it might get to you. But I did kind of dig the song, so I kind of liked it, and I can actually still remember it now. It go through my head. The Cat's Victim is really good. I think that's also called Watch Me Wanna Kill. New York Ripper, know about that one. It's super sleazy but super fun film. Strange Vices of Miss Ward is an excellent film. I really, really enjoyed that one. Almost Human I really liked. Don't Torture Duckling is, of course, a classic. These are all on DVD, by the way. I'm showing you right now. The House with Laughing Windows is another great one. I love Amsterdam. Sister of Ursula is really good. Washing Machine is one that I really, really liked. I didn't know anything but Washing Machine. And let's see if I can show you this. So it's in like this tin type of thing. It's like see-through. But I can't show you the back. There's a ton of nudity in Washing Machine, just to let you know that. But it's a really cool. I liked it a lot. I liked the twist. I really enjoyed it. I liked what they did with it. I thought there was a lot of like chemistry between the actors, and I just really got into that one for some reason. Now, can I show you? I can show you this one, yes, because they have things like the Shameless Sexploitation Collection. This has like 3. These are sexploitation films. Love Goddess of Cannibals. There's the Satan's Baby Doll and the Beast in Space. Now, they have a gimmick with some of their stuff. So this one here, you see they're clothed on the inside. There's the artwork is here, but they're not wearing any clothes on the the inside cover. So I just let you know that. Now, there's one Shameless film that came out on Blu-ray that everybody had been looking for. If you're a Jello fan, this is one that people have been looking for a long time. And Shameless got the rights to this, and it really is D'Argento's last masterpiece. It's an excellent film. I can't say highly enough. Now that Arrow is working with Shameless and is kind of like distributing Shameless stuff, because recently Shameless, the company that used to distribute Shameless's stuff, they went out of business. So Shameless needed to find another company to distribute their films, and Arrow came in and kind of picked up Shameless became their distributor. I'm hoping that means that we're going to see some crossover work, and I really want to see this one here this is a good release, but I want to see an Arrow limited edition big set of Four Flies and Grey Velvet. This is a favorite of mine. Mimsy Farmer does a really good job in this film, in my opinion. I think is it Michael Brando in this one too? Yeah, Michael Brandon. Yes, Michael Brandon. I said Brando though, didn't I? Michael Brando. But it's a really cool film. And it's the only of their Blu-rays that I got. As you can see, they use yellow cases for their Blu-rays. But there's other ones, like New York Ripper's out on Blu-ray from them. The Church is also out on Blu-ray from them. The Sect is out. The Sect is out on Blu-ray from them as well. So there are some really, really good ones to check out. Now let's go over there. There's I know you mentioned Eureka Masters of Cinema, but there's some other stuff you probably should know about. So we'll go over here now. All right, so much in the way that you know Masters of Cinema, there's BFI. So they put out stuff on Blu-ray and DVD. So when I was over to London, there was a BFI cinema, because there's a film festival going on, BFI Film Festival. I was actually going to go check it out, but we only had a week and we had to see everything, going to London Eye, all that type of stuff. So we never got to get there. I still want to go back and go see the BFI Film Festival some year. So for that reason, they had a bunch of BFIs right up front at FOPS, and they were on for super cheap. And you do still find them for fairly cheap, but they have some great films from BFI. A lot of these are on Blu-ray as well, but I'm going to show you some of these right now. So the classic, The Devils, Ken Russell, not for everybody, but I really did like this film. This is a 2-disc edition. Is it completely uncut? I don't think so. I think there's an even more uncut one, but as far as I know, this is as uncut as it gets for right now, and it is a great film. This is definitely a good edition of the film. There's documentaries after documentaries. The thing with BFI is even they're just regular DVD editions of stuff, they are loaded with features. You could have a BFI one. It could be a documentary. It could be a 40-minute documentary, and you could find a 70-minute bonus feature on there, or a bunch of different stuff. I'll show you what I mean. So, one that I really liked and I really enjoyed. This is one here called Sleepwalker. It's a short film, and I think it runs about 49 minutes. Why do I take my glasses? These aren't new glasses. They are progressive lenses so that I can actually look down and read. But I took my glasses because I'm used to doing that. So I like Sleepwalker. It's a cool little like 48-minute short film, but along with that, there's a 69-minute exclusive feature-length interview with the director of Sleepwalker. There's also The Insomniac, another 43-minute film, kind of short film on here as well. Along with that, there's another 10-minute short drama, which actually originally supported Polanski's The Tenet in the UK cinema. And there's another 15-minute kind of like short film on here as well, talking about the writer. So just really, really cool stuff. And don't you just love that cover? It's not really, I don't see that being that horrific, but it's a really cool film. And if you go on the inside, you're going to notice that they do this where they show like other ones that they got. If you're a newcomer to my channel and you haven't seen much of my stuff before, if anybody that's watching this, see this one here, Deep End? This is like one of the Professor Pin recommendations. This is one of my movie recommendations for people to get and watch. I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was a really engaging film, really engrossing, went in different ways than I expected it to. I went in kind of expecting almost like a coming-of-age story, and it is sort of, but there's also like kind of a other, I really don't want to give it away, but let's just say the ending is like, it's dark, and it goes in many different ways. And along with this one here, this is a great film, but along with this film, there's also a feature-length documentary on the film. There's a deleted scenes, 12 minutes of deleted scenes, and there's like a 10-minute short film on here that you won't forget after you watch it. It is a really good, disturbing short film, and you can kind of tell where it's going, but it doesn't, and for me anyway, it didn't lessen the impact of the short, and it bothered me, got under my skin. If you see this, if you've seen this film, by the way, guys, anybody that's seen this film that's got this BFI release and know the short film that I'm talking about, it's Careless Love. If you're going to talk about it, like try to put a spoiler tag or something, because I really want people to go in blind when it comes to a lot of this stuff. But let me know what you think of this. This is a favorite of mine. This is slowly inching its way up into my top films. And they put out a lot of great stuff, and a lot of classics too. Stuff like the Beauty and the Beast. I love their cover for Beauty and the Beast. This is of course, the Jacques Cousteau one. Again, great, full-length feature commentary with Christopher Frayling. Again, a lot of these here have booklets, and I don't mean like little booklets. So if you got any indicator stuff or any of that, you're going to know that the booklets in the UK are expansive. So let's here just like look and see. Are huge, huge booklets. I'm glad somebody asked about the kind of like the UK company, because I really wanted to make a video about this, and I'd kind of thought about it and forgotten about it. And I'm glad that somebody actually asked me, because this is something obviously I can talk about. I'm not going to talk for hours, but it's something I could talk about for hours. This is a great one as well. This is a favorite of mine. It's probably my favorite version of Beauty and the Beast. He put out a couple great documentaries. Actually, the London ones. There's London in the Raw, and of course Primitive London as well. Again, great special features on each of these. I don't think these had booklets, but a lot of these do. The bigger ones have booklets. But again, some just incredible stuff. Extra documentaries and stuff on there. BFI releases are a joy to collect, and I wish I had a ton more of these. And I don't think of them a lot, and I really should when I'm looking online to collect. It's kind of like when I'm there in the moment, when I'm there in London, and which hopefully I will be soon again in the near future. I'll love to go back to London. I'll be able to collect more, and I want to go back around the same time. I would love to get to the BFI Festival and get more of their releases. Other ones that I can recommend from BFI, because I don't want to leave them yet, is one of the first ones I got is Band Apart, and Jean-Luc Godard, The Outsiders, in other words. Again, great great special features on here. I'd always been wanted some of the Elaine, this director right here, whose name I'm not going to butcher. So I'd wanted to hit some of his films for a while. I'd seen like some come on like Kino's like Redemption label, and then I saw these here, and these were like very inexpensive. So I knew I wanted to check them out. It had been a while since I'd seen any of his films. I didn't remember anything. It was a great like way to dive back into it. And again, there's a 33-minute like interview with the director. This is fully uncut. There's a 6-minute like introduction. There's an exclusive feature length commentary with Tim Lucas, who does some amazing commentaries. And I got actually 2 of his films. I have Trans-Euro Express as well, and this one has some great features as well. Again, another interview, and of course commentary. So great stuff. And of course, if you like the older British comedies, like I do, this is Bill Forsyth's That Sinking Feeling. I really kind of dig this one. It's cool. It's different. I like it. I like a lot of the British comedy and horror stuff. One of my favorite comedies of all time is Only Fools and Horses, and my favorite skit comedies of all time is actually probably Monty Python's Flying Circus. I got really weird kind of comedy taste. I like Fawlty Towers. I like Blackadder. I didn't like the first Blackadder as much, Series 1, but I really got into Series 2 and onward. Series 1 was okay, but they were still finding their footing. So, you know, if a lot of UK releases are great when it comes to like the stuff as well. I got to tell you something second. Are you guys a science fiction fan? Are you Doctor Who fans? Because UK releases of Doctor Who, they're the bomb. And BFI put out some great sets. This is one that came out long before the Criterion set came out. And I was in Morocco. I was actually at the Casablanca Mall. And I wanted to get some. I've been looking for some releases that were actually in English because it was kind of hard to find around there. But I was able to find a few because I'd earlier gotten the one of my favorite like slasher series of all time is Frit Wild or Cold Prey. But when I saw it back in the day, it hadn't even come here, and it was like about a year or so before it actually like dropped here in North America. And I actually saw this one online because I was waiting for it to come, and I saw it under the Frit Wild title. So whenever I look at it, I can't say Cold Prey. It doesn't work. It just doesn't do it for me. But I really do like their. That's one of my favorite series. So I went out. I was at a mall in Marrakesh, and I grabbed up this Frit Wild 3 film collection. It was all 3 of them. Now I'd seen the first 2. The second one was even better than the first one, in my opinion. I love the second one, and they had the third one. The third one's kind of a prequel one. I hadn't seen it. I was so excited. So we got back to the ranch in Morocco, and because I was visiting there, and went upstairs, and my kids were huge horror fans. I put on Frit Wild 3. No English. There's like French subtitles, and there's like other subtitles, but there's no English. So I give it to a friend of mine over there that's actually a really big horror fan, and and speaks French very, very well. So I gave it to her, but I was so disappointed because they also had Necronomicon, which is not available here. It's a anthology film, and it's got a Jeffrey Combs in it. It's not available here on Blu-ray. They had it there, but it was only in French, and they were so cool at the store that because there was no way to tell. So I asked them. I said, "Do you know if this is there English subtitles or English dubbing or anything for this one?" So they went and they actually opened it up and went into the back room and checked it for me. And they were honest. They could have sold it to me and said, you know, find out yourself. I couldn't have brought it back, but they opened it up, checked it out for me. Unfortunately, the Necronomicon version that was there didn't have any English subtitles or English dubbing or language on it. They checked out all the language settings, but it was cool for them to do that, and I'll definitely shop from that place again when I go back there. But I did pick up this Jacques Tati set, and I'm a huge fan of Jacques Tati. So, and yes, there's English on this too, so that's really, really good. I actually made sure that before I picked it up, that it had with English subtitles. And again, it's written in English in the back as well. So that was a good sign. But that's not always the case. Sometimes you can see it written in English, and it'll just be the other languages. That does happen sometimes. This is a cool one, so Again, another cool BFI set. Now, when it comes to Eureka, you know about Eureka, but I'm going to mention Eureka because if you're watching this and you're not the person that asked, you're probably watching this to hope for my charming personality. We'll go with that. But more than likely, you're hoping to find out some cool stuff from the UK. So don't worry. There's some really good Eureka stuff, and I'm going to give you a couple of my favorite suggestions right now. Le Poison is an amazing, incredible, fantastic film, and it's been by Sacha Guitry. It's the filmmaker that made this one, and he really did great. This is a dark comedy. It's really well done. I knew I was going to kind of like it. My better half's like, she was a real big fan of the actor in this one here, and I was like, okay, we'll watch it. And she was like, want to watch it tonight? Want to watch it tonight? And I was again, I wanted to see it, but I didn't know I was going to like it as much as it is. So I was playing off for like, okay, no, I'm not right in the mood, not really in the mood. Then we got to a time, it was like, we're going to watch this. So we sat down, we watched it. I love this film. This is a fantastic film. I think Criterion also put this one as well, but this is the Masters of Cinema edition. I love the cover here. It really does suit the film, and just like many other Masters of Cinema releases, you also get a really good booklet. And of course, there's Michael Simone. There he is right there. He does a great job in this movie. I love the scene when he goes to the lawyer and talks about, well, if you haven't seen it, you really should see it. There's notes on the viewing of the film. There's there's a great write-up. Just a lot of really great stuff here. The Eureka editions I really recommend, especially now where Criterion is getting out of like putting booklets into a lot of their films. Like some of the Criterion releases they got have almost like a little fold-out rather than a booklet, which has gone back to what they used to originally do. And then they used to do kind of a fold-out thing. Then they went into booklets. Now they're going back to the fold-out thing and like putting things online. But Eureka does some really great stuff with that. Other great Eureka releases. If you don't want to go and grab the whole, like the big Criterion set for more inexpensive, you can pick up the first volume of the Martin Scorsese's World Cinema Project. It's a great series. It's a great project. This one has 3 films on it. It's got Dry Summer, Trances, and Revenge. My better half, she's Moroccan, so Trances was one that she really wanted to see. It is a Moroccan film. It's about a Moroccan band. It's got some great music. It's a really cool documentary. Martin Scorsese is a huge fan of Morocco, and he goes there a lot. Actually, my sister-in-law is involved with the Moroccan, with the Marrakesh Film Festival a lot. So she'll get to talk to and see a lot of people like Scorsese. And I'm very jealous of her with that, and people like that come to the film festival. He has a huge part in the film festival, and I think he's actually on the board over there. So one of these days, I'm going to actually go over when the film festival's going on and try and get in, and which shouldn't be that hard. Yeah, you know the right people. That's the thing. But yeah, it's a really cool one. Clouseau's The Murder Lives at 21. Fun little film. This is not like Diabolique. It's not like as serious as that. This one is much more. I'd say on the humorous side. It's a fun little murder mystery type film. I did enjoy this one. Definitely worth checking out. A lot of comedy in that one. A classic is If, by Lindsay Anderson. If you're a Lindsay Anderson fan, then If is probably in your collection. If it's not, then change that. Malcolm McDowell does a great job in this film. Anyway, there's a lot for all mankind. It's a great documentary. I know there's other companies put it, but just look at this. Just look at this cover. It is gorgeous. You open it up, and it's a 2-disc set, Blu-ray, DVD, and you got this amazing booklet in here as well. It's just great stuff. You can't go wrong with a lot of the releases, but that's not the only company that you really got to think about. There's this other company. So a company that I like called Network. All right. Network from the UK. And so you can see these here were £3. A lot of these aren't even opened. Stuff like Don't Bother to Knock, Richard Todd, it was a good one. Iron Man, Marrakesh, Tony Randall, But yeah, some like cool ones, like there's the Scotland Yard Mystery. You see these were extremely cheap. One of my favorites here is Horrors of the Black Museum. It's a great one with Michael Goff. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend it. Now, these are pretty much like, there's not a lot of features on some of these here. These are kind of like they do have like, Network does like a lot of stuff. They have like sets that they put out as well. And some of these may have been originally, these are thin cased, so some of these may have been like in certain sets and stuff, but they were selling at FOPs for like £3 each, and we grabbed up a bunch of these. My better half really wanted a lot of these here. The Flying Saucer was one of the Edgar Wallace Presents collection. And we got a few of those. The Ringer, another Edgar Wallace one. The Terrors, another Edgar Wallace one. Midnight Menace is kind of like one of those spy war type ones. Just really cool stuff. So you haven't checked out Network, they do this. They do like a lot of like stuff as well. I think I got to check, but I think Network may have done my my Saint sets. I got the Saint monochrome set and the Saint color set. I just need the Return of the Saint set with Ian Ogilvy, and going down. There are so many good companies. The UK just does such a great job with this stuff, and not just. You can also order from Australia as well. There's a place called JB Hi-Fi, and you can also find, like in a lot of places, you find like Umbrella. Umbrella's a company that does a lot of stuff in Australia. I got one here. I'm not quite sure where it is right now, but Body Double, before it came out with from the Indicator release, there was a Body Double release that came out from Umbrella releasings. That's actually a really cool one. A friend of mine got me that one, so that was actually a big surprise because he knew I was a big fan of it. So with that being said, I'm not even going to stop the camera. I'm going to talk here a little bit about Doctor Who. If you're a fan of Doctor Who, guys, it can get expensive, especially if you're a fan of the classic Doctor. But if you can find these releases over from the UK, grab them. Like these revisitation ones are amazing, amazing sets. I recommend them wholeheartedly. Let me show you the difference here. So. This is like the 5 Doctors. This is the North American edition. I bought this one at Costco. And great features again. Now, this is Time and the Rani from the UK. I'm a much bigger fan of the UK, of the look of the UK releases, than I am of the North American releases. I'll buy the North American releases when I don't have the choice to get the other ones. But another good thing about the UK releases is they put out a lot more box sets. So when you're paying like 30 or 40 bucks, yeah, because it does get expensive sometimes, or even 20 for like a Doctor Who release here in North America, you could actually get like a box set, like the unit files, for instance. These came separately here in North America, but the unit files had a box set release. And that is Invasion of the Dinosaurs and the Android. Sorry, is it? Yeah, Invasion of the Dinosaurs, the Android Invasion came out as a box set. The Paladin, both the Paladin ones came out as a set as well. We got like stuff like the Myths and Legends. The 3 there, they had Centauran set. I think that one came out in North America as well. Trial of a Time Lord was. I think that was in North America too. But stuff like New Beginnings, I don't think made it over here. That was basically the last 2 Tom Baker stories and the first Peter Davison story. So we got like Keeper of Track and Logopolis and Castrovalva. So every once in a while you'll luck into like a North American release that'll have something like this. It'd be a good one and they'll put it together and do it well. But most time, 9 times out of 10, this is the North American release for the beginning. The first 3 Doctor Who tales. Sort of. Well, one is... This is the other North American release. I actually have 2 of these. But it's a UK release that is similar to this. Now, as for TV, before we get back to Arrow, because I do want to go back to Arrow again, because there's some stuff I want to talk about. I'll be right back. So those are the Saint sets that I told you about. Those are network releases, and look how huge those sets are. Those are really incredibly cool sets. You get like a lot of cool stuff like that, and you get a lot of cheaper releases there. Of course, there's the popular Mrs. Brown's Boys. Are You Being Served? We have like Peep Show and The In-Betweeners. Both shows I really like, and The Thick of It. Those are all like sets that were done over in the UK. Some of my favorites, actually. I'm a big fan of of UK cinema and a lot of UK TV, as you can tell. Peep Show is one of those kind of like awkward humor shows, and I really like awkward humor shows. There is so much goodness when it comes to companies like Arrow and Shameless and 88 Films. Just so much greatness with Eureka, with Indicator. I didn't show you Indicator here, but there's some great Indicator releases. Happy Birthday to Me is one that I do 110% recommend. It's a great release. The Hammer editions that Indicator put out have, by far and large, just leaped and bounds over their the North American counterparts. Not even like, it's not even close. Their Sinbad set is just incredible, and they did an amazing job with that. The Ray Harryhausen sets, I strongly, highly recommend. It's some really, really great stuff. Now, I said I was going to mention a couple other the Arrow releases, so I'm going to do that right now. Now, one I've got to talk about, and that is one right here. So if you're a fan, like if you've seen the Cannon documentary, if you're a fan of those Cannon films, guys, then you have to pick up Remo Williams' The Adventure Begins. Not only is this kind of a cool Cannon type film, and it's a fun little like action film, very different, very cheesy. It's also got a great documentary on here, and there it's called Remo, Rambo, Reagan, and Reds, the 80s action movie experience. It talks about 80s action films. It's a cool talking head documentary, but it's a really good one. It's really interesting. It's one that I've watched like several times. I got this on Christmas. I watched this on Christmas morning, and then I watched Remo Williams, and I ended up watching the documentary later on again that night. It's really that good, and it's something that I do recommend to everybody that's interested at all in like Cannon films and 80s action films. It has been your collection. If you're an 80s action fan, this needs to be in your collection. If only for the documentary. If you're not a big Remo Williams fan, still the documentary is worth it. If you are a Remo Williams fan, this is my suggested way to get this film. I think this was put out. Was the Twilight Time put this out? Forget that. If Twilight Time put this out, totally forget it. Because this is the edition to get. If you are region free, get yourself Remo Williams. This is a great documentary as well. Pick it up. Now, when it comes to like some of the horror stuff, maybe you're interested in some of the British horror, but you're not. But you're kind of like, you're gonna pass you've seen the Hammer stuff, and you're starting to get into the Pete Walker stuff. Maybe you're starting to get into like some of the darker stuff, maybe the Norman Warren stuff, that era of like of stuff. If that's the case, then this movie here, Mark the Devil, definitely for you. It's a cool little film, but not only that, again, just the same as the Remo Williams one, this has an incredible documentary on here as well. And let's see, what's the name of the documentary? Mark of the Times, right? Yeah, Mark of the Times, feature-length documentary. By the way, these aren't like 15-minute documentaries. No, these are like 90-minute documentaries. This one's basically on, this one here talks about the change, the shift in British horror away from the gothic Hammer stuff to kind of like a more serious, naturalized horror that you see in a lot of the Pete Walker and that type of era stuff that as it came in. And really, really great one. Definitely check this out. So a lot of these era releases have great bonus features as well. You're kind of finding that with these. And again, booklets, dual covers, just great stuff. Another one that I do recommend is this, and this one is just a documentary, but a really good documentary. If you're a fan of Ray Harryhausen, get this one here. Ray Harryhausen Special Effects Titan belongs. If you got the Harryhausen sets and you don't have this one, you don't have the complete Harryhausen, you need this in your collection. This is a great, fantastic documentary. I just need to get the book now. If you're a fan of cinema, Cinema Paradiso is probably a film that you've seen, and it's a longer film, but it's a film that a lot of like cinemaphiles love. I'm among those. Not all cinemaphiles, but no, for me, I did find it like it was a really good film. And the 25th anniversary edition that they put out, this is a really nice edition that Arrow put out. They put out both cuts of the film, so you get the 124-minute theatrical cut there, and you get the 174-minute director's cut. So that's a beast of a cut. Worth checking out, though, definitely. My Darling Clementine, I love the slipcover. I love the case. I love that it looks like one of those kind of cool. Like, I grew up reading a lot, and in the town that I was in, it was a smaller town that I lived for a long time, and I read everything that was in the library. And I do literally mean everything that was in that library, from magazines to books. It was a small library, so it wasn't that much of a feat. But afterwards, I just kept ordering stuff in. I was a bit of a geek. I was a reader. I was not a loner type. I had friends and stuff, but I did like to get on. I was kind of the type of person. I'm a bit of an awkward bunny. I'm not gonna lie. So much so that me and my better half were sitting down tonight. We're watching like one of the Phelan Obscura Lupa docu kind of videos, and my better half, who filled with humor, is like, oh, that Phelan guy, he's kind of awkward. I'm like, yeah, it was kind of his thing, right? So, you're pretty awkward. I'm like, well, thanks on that one, honey. That's I feel special now. But no, I'm a bit of an awkward bunny. I've always been. So, and I like it. I own it. That's what I am. This has kind of like the Western covers type. You should read a lot of Long Arm and like Scalp Hunter, all that type of stuff. Especially Long Arm stuff, and a lot of the older like Lula Moore Western stuff like that. This has kind of the look to that as one of those. Great stuff. We've got the My Darling Clementine theatrical edition. We also got the My Darling Clementine, the pre-release version of here, and Frontier Marshall's on here as well. So great release. If you like that. Now, if you're more into the spaghetti western type of stuff, there's some great sets coming out. The Sartana set, something I strongly recommend. If you haven't seen the Django sets, the Django Prepare Coffin's really good. Day of Anger is a fantastic like spaghetti western, and I do like a lot of people. This one flies under the radars for a lot of people. And that is Cemetery Without Crosses. Again, one that I enjoyed. Films. They did a lot of the. If you've only seen like the Maribava editions that came out, I love Kino. Kino's one of my favorite companies. But when it comes to Maribava, there's one place to get Maribava, and it is through Arrow Films. They just really kill it with their editions. Let's take one of theirs right now. Let's go Blood and Black Lace. So this is the Arrow edition. They had a steelbook and everything. This one here, Blood and Black Lace. Maribava film, great one. Again, this is not a 1-disc, not a 2-disc, but it's a 3-disc edition. Great booklet, great features. I mean, like, just look at that, guys. This is the features. Incredible stuff. They did the same thing for Black Sunday. Another classic got that. Here we go. Black Sunday got it. Black Sunday, Bay of Blood. Black Sabbath, Girl Who Knew Too Much, really underrated if you haven't seen that one. $5 for an August Moon. They do a lot of like good releases for their giallos. What Have You Done What Have You Done to Solange is a really good one. Bloodstained Butterfly is another one that I really liked. And if you like the exploitation-y films, then movies like Coffee, they do great editions of those. They're black exploitation films. And Foxy Brown as well. I got that here. And also giallos. Between Shameless and Arrow, that's like, and now that they're together, that's your one-stop shop for giallo film hunting, in my humble opinion. And as I will always say, because I like to be honest, my opinion is not always. I got to move that over here. Most humble. But it will be honest. My opinion will always be honest. I always say my honest, straightforward way of. I'll shoot straight with you with stuff that I like. Videodrome. For me, I have both versions of the film. I got the Criterion and the Arrow one. I like the Arrow one better. I just really do I like David Cronenberg's last films on here as well. There's some great stuff. There's a great booklet on here. Great one. This one's sold out, so I actually had to go to eBay to get this one. My better half got it for me. That's the Dr. Phibes collection. I'm a big fan of that. There's not a lot of features on here. There's some there's some like commentaries, and like there's a few, but not like, it's not overabundance like with a lot of Arrow stuff. But I just really like the Phibes films. I've always been a big fan of them. I'm a big fan of Vincent Price. Obviously, I got the set, and the Phibes one. If you get a chance to get that one, that's really recommended. Hills Have Eyes was a nice one. The Brain Damage is cool. Mutilator and Blood Rage. These are two limited editions that if they're still limited, you still can find these at the limited editions, get them. Even if you can't, just get the regular editions as well. They're just really kind of cool slasher films. If you guys like slasher films, these are fun ones here. And, you know, it's... that's not cranberry sauce. I'm not totally going to... I'm not going to do the voice thing. It's been a while. And the Mutilator. I really like the Mutilator, actually. Underrated. Also, some people are like super Criterion, like Criterion's always puts out the best release. That's what some people think. I don't agree with that. I think Criterion puts out a lot of really great quality releases. They're another one of my favorite companies, but they're not my favorite company, and they don't always put out the best release of a film. Some Eureka BFI Masters of Cinema, by the way, were better than the Criterion releases. Unibaba, the original release of Unibaba, stands out as like one of those cases. And so does this one here, Thief. Thief was put out by Criterion as well, but this is my favorite. This is a really cool film. I'm a huge fan of this. I'm a huge fan of James Caan, and I like Michael Mann. I like his stuff a lot. Now, my friend Logan Toxic, he wasn't a big fan of this film. I don't think you weren't, were you? I liked it though. I dug it. But this one has both versions of the film. It's got like the director's cut, basically. And it also has the original theatrical cut. It's got a really great documentary on Michael Mann, the director's edition by Michael Mann on here. Just some really great stuff. One of the ones that I think, another one where Criterion did a good job, but Arrow did a much, much, much better job at. And that is the work of Krzysztof Kieslowski. If you've seen like the Three Colors trilogy, then you know Kieslowski is. What you gotta see is this one here, the Decalogue. I really did dig the Decalogue. It's one that you gotta dive into. This is not going to be the one that you do in one night. It's got like 10 on here. Plus, there's tons and tons of bonus films and features on this one. It is just such a good release. I was so excited the day that the Decalogue came into my collection. It's something that I highly, highly recommend. I'm not even going to have to do like either other, like Arrow thing in the near future, because this is going to take all that up. But again, there are so many great releases put out in the UK. I'm trying to think if there's any companies that I haven't thought about. We've talked about Indicator, we've talked about BFI, we've talked about Arrow extensively. We talked about Shameless, which, again, a lot of great stuff from Shameless. We talked about Network. I mentioned Umbrella from the UK, from Australia. I'm trying to think if there's another company that I'm forgetting right now. And there probably is. There's probably going to be a company that I'm going to forget. And I apologize ahead of time, but that's what all you guys out there are for. If there are other companies in the UK that I'm not thinking about right now, companies that I might be forgetting, like Second Sight you mentioned, I got a few from Second Sight. I've got their fantastic Steelbook, the Return of the Living Dead one. That is just great. It's got the documentary on there, the big 2.5-hour documentary. Of course, there is the Fright Night edition that came out as well, and that was from, who put it Fright Night was that Second Sight in the UK? I'd have to look upstairs. I go to check. But Fright Night, the best edition of Fright Night, hands down, bar none, is the one in the UK. They put out basket case, like Arrow put out basket case recently. There was originally a basket case trilogy put out in the UK as well. If you want to get the other ones and kind of want to add that, if you don't think Arrow's going to put out 2 and 3, a good way to get like all 3 of them. And even if you can get a basket case trilogy, especially a lot cheaper, it's good to like supplement it with your Arrow edition of basket case if you're a big fan. If you're a big fan of Frank Hanlauder's work, there's a lot of really, really good stuff. Now, what company? Is this UK release, or is this just Montreal? And this is Montreal release, I think. Yeah, Louis de Finesse. Some great stuff, too. My better half's a huge fan of the French comedian Louis de Finesse. But I'm trying to think if there's a company that I've left out. So I'm going to look over here. I'm going to be outside of the range. I'm still talking because you guys know me. I can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. The Battles with Honor and Humanity, another great set. It's not everybody. My oldest was not a huge fan of the first film and didn't go on with it, but I think they're really good. The X Rentals, if you can find that one, that's Aerodrome. It's like kind of the cheaper version. Like Aero got like a budget title company as well, kind of subgenre called Aerodrome. They put out the Gates of Hell trilogy, and Lucio Fulci put out like an edition of that, and they put out the X Rentals. These are two of the Aerodromes that I got. So I'll show you these here. The Gates of Hell trilogies are really, again, really cool films. I have these in like Blu-ray editions as well, but you know, to dip my toe back in the Fulci to get the Gates of Hell trilogy, I found this. I think this is at a print now. I'm not sure. If you can find it and you get a decent price on it, grab it. It's got like booklet in here, a cool booklet. It's got some decent features. This one here is really cool too. This is called the X Rental set, and basically what it is, it's giving you like, excuse me, move this upside down here. It's driving with the wall. Movies that you'd find in like video stores. Like cool, like horror, action, exploitation films. It runs the gamut. So you get Penitentiary and Penitentiary 2. Yeah, the ones that are really expensive from Vinegar Syndrome. Not really expensive, but you know, I want to upgrade them. I want to get the Vinegar Syndrome ones. But Penitentiary 1 is here, and Penitentiary 2 is the bonus feature. McBain with Chris Walken, that's here. Maniac Cop, of course, with Bruce Campbell, that's here as well. And the Cheerleaders is here, and I think the Cheerleaders has like a Revenge of the Cheerleaders as a second disc in the set. So again, really, really cool stuff. Really cool sets. Definitely recommend those. Those are excellent additions. The Hellraiser Scarlet box set. If you're a Hellraiser fan, that's just it's a none. It's not even like something to think about. You know, that's definitely one to grab. But I think we've gone over most of the companies. I'll show you the Basket Case trilogy, and I'll show you the this will be an interesting one to see. So, the Basket Case trilogy, and this one is, I'm pretty sure this one is second sight. There's another, Nucleus Films. Nucleus Films does a lot of stuff like they put out a lot of like trailer tapes, and a lot of stuff you see that Severin put out, like the Video Nasties and stuff like that, originated from like Nucleus Films. That's where they came from first. So you might want to check out Nucleus Films as well. They have a lot of really good stuff. There is another company that's names escape me. I think it's 101 Films, and they do a lot of like canon action stuff and like kind of just really different kind of cool stuff. So there's the Basket Case trilogy, as you can see right here. This is the steelbook. If you open it up, these are Blu-ray, by the way. And each of them, 1, 2, and 3, and they each get their own separate Blu-ray. Also, and this one is from Second Sight, this one here, and this is the amazing edition. One of my favorite ones here is Return of the Living Dead. What's really cool is my better half actually got this one for me. I had no idea this was coming. It was like a Halloween present. One year she went out and she ordered it, found it online. I think this is out of print. I'm not sure. I think the steelbook's out of print. I think you can actually get the other edition of it. But she grabbed it for me, and I had no idea. She just said when it was coming in the mail. She just like, go to the mail today, and I went to the mail and I had no idea this was coming. This came. I watched the documentary so many times, like More Brains. Just a fantastic documentary. And because I said I was going to show you guys. The way that the Blu-rays were done originally from Arrow were like this. This was how they came. This is Phenomenon right here. It's one of the first that I got, actually. And you can see that there's the 4 covers right there. There's the poster, which comes with it, and there's the booklet. So originally they would come like that, and you just like basically slide it out. You can choose whatever cover you wanted. Great stuff. I'm a huge fan of UK cinema and UK companies. Since I feel bad for not showing you either one of these companies at all, this company at all, basically Indicator, Torture Garden. This is a must if you're a fan of like of anthology horror at all, or a fan of Amicus. Torture Garden. You know, there is a cheap edition that's out from like Mill Creek. Get this edition if you can. This is a really good edition of this film, and it is loaded with special features, with some great special features too. Not mediocre, not okay, great special features. And this is Sinbad trilogy, also a must for anybody that's really big fans of Ray Harryhausen. I got one other thing to talk about now. So this is the UK part of it, but I want to talk about another release that's been kind of controversial. when I was deciding to do the Amicus versus Hammer like videos, that's one that I'm working on now. One of the things that I knew I was going to need to in order to complete the video was a set that Severin had out, the Amicus collection. Now, there had been a previous release, kind of a DVD release that came out. Was it Dark Skies? I think may have put it out. And it was a little bit of a controversial release. Some people were not the hugest fans of that release. And one of the reasons for that was due to the fact that we thought that they specifically honed in on that the Beasts Must Die wasn't as good, wasn't Blu-ray quality. And the thing is that the Beast Must Die, a lot of the elements were lost, that they couldn't actually do like a really cool Blu-ray print of the Beast Must Die the way that they did like Blu-ray prints of Asylum and Now the Screaming Starts. Now, I will unequivocally say, and this is definitely my opinion on this one, I was a really big fan of Severin's set. I have not yet watched The Beast Must Die. I'm glad to have it. And I'm glad to have it on Blu-ray, even if it's not like if it can't be the Blu-ray quality the others can. I understand that they didn't have the elements to do a Blu-ray copy in the same way that they did the other two films. I did watch Asylum, and I had heard like, oh, these are all crappy, they're not good like Blu-ray copies. And in my opinion, and if anybody has the set, they can tell me what they think. But I thought Asylum looked great on Blu-ray, on the Severin Blu-ray. It did look really great, and the features were just incredible. The Severin Amicus set, if you're a fan of Amicus, the Severin set is worth it for the features alone. Like you're going to get like 3 cool films. I like those 3 films. A lot of people aren't big fans of Beast Must Die. I do like the cheesiness of that. I also like Howling 5 too, so guys, take that with a grain of salt when it comes to some of those things. I like some cheesy stuff. I liked Howling 5 better than like Obscura Lupa did. We'll go with that. But she is right in many of the faults on that film. I did like the film. I like the mystery werewolf films. It's a little known genre that I really enjoy, but I really do enjoy it. I do think that the Severin Amicus set is actually a really good set. I do think that it's worth its price, and I think that the print on Asylum was really good, and apparently the print on And Now the Screaming Starts is supposed to be even better than the print on Asylum. Again, I have not watched And Now the Screaming Starts yet, but going by the print I saw on Asylum, I feel really good about going into And Now the Screaming Starts, and I know to like measure my expectations going in for And Now the Beast Must Die, because of they were out and they were honest with us ahead of time. They actually were on a podcast and they were explaining, okay, this is a set. They broke it down. There's a bonus disc with like all these trailers. Severin did a bonus disc with all these like Amicus trailers, like all their films and stuff. And there's a commentary, a track for those trailers. You can just watch it as a regular trailer tape. You can watch it as with the commentary, with Kim Newman's commentary on there. There's also like I think almost 2 or 3 hour long like interview with Sabatsky, I think, which I really got to get to. I got to listen to that, because that's part of the reason that I'm still like waiting on the Hammer versus Amicus like video that I want to get done. It's taking me a while, guys. I apologize for that, but there's work, a new job, and like moving coming up is taking a bit of toll on my work. On my work rate when it comes to the videos. But I'm trying to get, like when I try to do a video, I try to do like at least a decent length video for you guys, something that hopefully you guys will really enjoy. And I honestly, I'll be true, I honestly try to go out of my way to make sure, especially if it's going to take a while to do a video, and some people like this, some people don't like this, I will make a longer video, and I'll get more in depth, and I will talk more. It'll be like I said, eventually some of these are going to be like, I'm going to do an audio podcast down the road as well. So when getting some more people into that, some of my kids in that, some of my friends, just be some fun things that I can do. So, and that's down the road. That is a little bit ways down the road. But I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I'm really working hard on this for you guys. And that's pretty much it. I thank you for coming up with that question. It's made it a lot easier for me to find a video topic for tonight, and I really wanted to get a subject out, and I really wanted to talk in depth on that subject. If you're looking for giallos, get yourself some Shameless Screen Entertainment stuff. They just got some really great stuff. If You may not want to show it to some people, though, because a lot of nudity and stuff on some of their, even just on the covers. If there's nudity in a Shameless film, it's usually on the back cover of the film as well, and sometimes on the front cover. I could not show you, for instance, the I think it's a Strange Vice of Mr. Warren. It's not even one of the naughtier ones or something like that, or is it New York Ripper? One of the films, anyway. I was doing a video once. I took it out to show, and I realized, oh, there's a naked girl on the cover. I had to redo that part of the video. But they do some really good stuff. 88 Films, look into their stuff. They got some really great stuff. I missed it on Blood Harvest. And if anybody out there got an extra copy of Blood Harvest from 88 Films, honestly, seriously, I really wanted that one at the time. I could think it's a late birthday gift. Did anybody got an extra copy of Blood Harvest? But still, I put it out there anyway for you guys. It's a favorite of it's a cheesy film, but again, it's just one that it got me in the fields, as my kids would say. I'm really too old to be saying in the fields, but I will in this case because it reminds me of a time that I had with my with one of my kids watching movies. Anyway, there you go, guys. Thank you so much for watching tonight. Thank you for joining me here in the movie library. Have a great night, guys. Hope the weekend's coming up. Like tomorrow's Thursday. I got 2 more days of work before I get the weekend off. I don't normally get the weekend off, but I get the weekend off this weekend, so I really want to enjoy that. I'm going to do some packing, of course, but I'm going to do some film watching tonight. I'm going to watch some Doctor Who, and there's a couple documentaries I want to check out. So I want to do that while I still can. Don't want my voice to go because I use my voice a lot for the job that I do. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great evening, and again, it is time for tea after a fantastic night here in the movie library.